let's not do that. Hey, let's do this. Yeah, Steve was. Does it come up on your phones that I have these streams started?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Hello and welcome to the SLR SidePOD, episode 22. I don't know why I was set my Irish accent there.
God, I'm terrified.
You never know. You're terrified.
Please don't do that again.
I hate it here.
I'm sorry. He only hates it because with anyone else he'd love it. Anyway, welcome to the SidePOD, episode 22. Yeah, this week, as you can tell by the title, we have a mystery topic for which I am the only one who knows.
Oh, that's funny.
No, you don't. That's just I'm never going to tell you. With me today, of course, as you can hear, we have Owen, my honorary co-host, while Steve has absolute mental problems with his mental problems. He's having problems, basically. We have that's the last go. He's back from his couple-week hiatus as he was, getting stuff sorted with living situations and stuff. I'm not going into any more details, so welcome, Scopes. Of course, we have the Quizmaster General himself. It's not 8 o'clock. He doesn't have an SLR.
I love if I do call me General as well. Not Quizmaster, also a General.
Yeah, I always call him Quizmaster General now.
Why is it not SLR clock yet?
That's a real question.
That's what we're all wondering. We're really thinking of bottling this here clock, so this way. And of course, I am your host, SLR. So we have a mystery topic. I always say Icon76 because that's what I'm used to. So we have a mystery topic. It's a mystery because I'm not the one choosing it this week.
Oh.
I have actually compiled 5 topics for which we choose.
Oh.
As I have the last couple of weeks not actually done the topic, and since no one decided they wanted to put in an idea, I decided I'd do 5.
Oh my god.
Some of them I came up with on Saturday night. Some of them I came up on 5 minutes before the beginning of the screen. So, 5 minutes before we got into the park. That's not anything to worry about. By the way, I do have 5 that I decided to take. Of course, we can do regular speaking stuff like, are you doing your thing?
Yeah, I'm still writing it up now because I've only just got in about 20 minutes ago, so I'm going through it quick, last minute now. Alright.
Of course, we'll still have a driver of the week. We don't actually have one of the drivers of the week in this week because it didn't get announced until last minute, so I just decided I'm not.
Yeah, it has been announced. If you haven't seen it already, but don't worry.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I think it's me, isn't it?
I'm
driver of the week for F1 and F2.
Always, Scopes, always. And of course, we'll still have the quiz this week, as we have our Quizmaster General in as usual. Ranga has yet again bottled it. It is not here.
Typical one,
Shock and awe. So I will now read out the topics. If you don't like the topic, don't have me. One of them was
who's picking the topic? Us or all the viewers?
We'll just do a vote out of these 3. So I have my pad. I have lost my pencil, for which I was going to tally them up. So, I will tell you the different topics. So, first off, we have Schumacher versus Hamilton. Records and history.
You realise you're pick that. We have like a 2-hour discussion ahead of us.
No, we won't.
It is fixable, isn't it? So,
Yeah. Next,
okay.
we have long-standing drivers and teams. Realistically, that will only be talking about drivers. But we will be talking about long-standing drivers and who have realistically done the most in the world of F1. After the back of Kimi Raikkonen getting the most.
Hello.
Very
Yes.
calm.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah, just
I'll
see down
change
from
that now.
Inside. Did you put the game volume to 100 on Switch settings?
Oh my god, why is it set to 10? It's always supposed to be set to 6.
It's because I put the game volume down to 40% on the Twitch settings before on Sunday, and then when I was told it was no volume, I put it back up to 10, and it was on like 4 anyway. So I was like, "What's going on?"
Jesus, Owen.
It's because it was,
So-
I put the game volume to 40%, so it's probably quieter than it will be now.
Like,
So,
Trust you.
Schumacher v Hamilton, long-standing drivers, aka Kimi Raikkonen, Barrichello topic. The next generation of drivers, again Schumacher, Callum Ilott, and
Go on.
Tsunoda, who is actually being confirmed to be doing a test at Imola in November. So that will be the next generation.
I was expecting to
Again,
name the
relevant
Ferrari Academy driver, but to my shock,
I couldn't remember his name.
Armstrong.
Schwartzman. Yeah.
it's working as well, yeah.
Oh,
Schwartzman,
right.
yeah.
Damn.
Armstrong's
I feel like an idiot now.
Armstrong doesn't have a.
Yeah, he's in-
does he?
And maybe that's
He's just
one
in
of
the
the
AR
next 2
team.
drivers. Oh yeah, it is. Whatever.
I am also okay. So for the fourth topic, this is the kind of this is kind of a not a fact-based discussion. This will be a opinion / whatever the hell you want based discussion. Dangerous drivers
Oh,
in the real life world of F1, and if you feel like causing some controversy with the league, SLR.
GG day.
So dangerous drivers is the first topic.
That's a lot, Callum.
Yes. Pretty much. I technically have 6 because the other one was a joke one. The other one I decided to put in for shits and giggles is why Kai Column 76 should be moved down to Div 3.
and we
Let's just skip
yeah,
that.
yeah. The floodgates are now open already for this week. That's a great
Yeah.
start. 12 minutes it took us. Wow, it's amazing.
It's not
It's
even 12
not
minutes,
even
it's
12
8
minutes, is it? Because we started.
It's 8 minutes.
Yikes. That's
Um,
great.
oh my lord, I can't find the other topic. I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't find it. Okay, I decided I'm just gonna let Clock choose the final topic because I can't find the other topic that I decided. Clock, what do you think should be a runner for topics?
Let's just talk about dangerous drivers then.
Oh,
Okay, I'll go through and you can vote. So Schumacher versus Hamilton.
I think that's probably my least favourite out of the 3. Is it 3?
There's 4.
Wasn't
What's
even
the
Hamilton.
other one? It's,
So Schumacher v Hamilton.
oh yeah, no, yeah,
Long-standing
4, yeah, 4.
drivers.
Yeah,
Long-standing
I'd say-
drivers.
Next
I'd say
generation
that's
of
the,
drivers.
My least
Dangerous
Pretty
favourite.
dangerous drivers.
I just feel like there is a lot of discussion that can be made.
Yeah.
With what?
So
It's
next
good.
one is of course long-standing drivers. Any votes for that?
I do quite like that one, but I think I prefer the up-and-coming ones because I'm a bit more familiar.
Yeah, I prefer the up-and-coming ones.
So that's 2 votes for next generation. Are you okay with that, Clock, as well?
Yeah, whatever, go for it.
The,
You just want dangerous drivers because you want to
give
talk about me.
You have to give me 2 minutes because, like I said, gotta go.
yeah. Last
So,
round,
Clock,
lads.
I have a feeling I've actually become the most dangerous driver in the league. As I've had probably the most DNFs of the entire league.
Does that make you
Have you-
dangerous
Have you,
though, having
that's,
DNFs?
that's a good question, actually. Has Callum overtaken Steve-O? Because you DNF'd this
Oh,
week,
I
didn't
overtook
you?
him like last race.
I haven't
Yeah.
updated the standings just for this week. but it's very much
I
possible.
just thought we could check, couldn't we? What it was,
But-
and if it has,
but
because I know Steven did
Does
this week.
does a DNF doesn't mean you're a dangerous driver though?
No. I've had many DNFs, and I'm still a dangerous driver. So.
Everyone's like, I have many DNF, I'm not dangerous. Kind of like, yes,
Forgetting
you
how
are.
many, forgetting how many unsafe rejoin penalties I've got since my time in the league. It's not great. I'm a
think-
man now. I don't get them anymore. Promise.
If you want to know if you're dangerous, we
I
should
don't-
rather look at the license points. I would say.
So,
Right.
of course, now that we've decided, we will be talking about the next generation, i.e. Kalamalot, Schumacher, Schwartzman, and Tsunoda, plus
No, I'm
some of
just
the
gonna
other
go
few
through the whole
drivers who I'm
F2
not
grid.
familiar
I
with.
think that's what I'm gonna do.
Steve, you're here? Are you
He's
here,
joined,
Steve?
but I can't promise anything.
Steve?
He's been struggling.
Please, Steve?
I don't know what's happened really. It's a bit weird.
I don't know.
I think we should just promote Raghunathan straight away into Mercedes.
Let's not.
I can't even believe I can't believe he got dropped from his F2 seat. It's disgusting.
Why do you find that hard to believe?
It's just sad, isn't it? I mean, Samai's probably going to
I
get the same
know,
fate this year, but still.
Aye. Yeah. Okay, so I actually now need to pull up the F2 grid as I'm not particularly familiar with it.
We can't go through the whole
Um,
grid.
Yeah, I know, but we're just going to pick out key people and key races.
Where's the one at the top? The Schumacher Junior.
Schumacher's at the top at the minute, I'm pretty sure. Over.
Yeah, he is.
He is, yeah.
I want to say.
Which
He pretty much,
is awesome because that also means that when or if he gets promoted to F1, people can't say that it's only because he's called Schumacher, because he's actually won something if he does.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was saying it's just the name after. I remember he had such a bad start to F2. Like, last season when he dropped, he had a really bad start.
He was really good in F3 though.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, he spanked everyone.
Oh,
Thank you.
Steve-O!
He's made it.
Steve-O! Steve-O! Steve-O!
He's fixed himself. Hello. No. See you there.
Steve-O!
Steven?
Steve-O! He gave us hope.
hello.
There we go.
Steve-O!
There he is.
Are you here?
I feel like I'm a bit
No, I think it's a
overexcited.
problem with my mic, I think.
Oh. Alright, okay. Well,
You're the Callum.
I'm crying. He's not joining properly. Alright, so,
go for it.
yeah, let's start. So, first, I would
not
like
like
to
it's
bring
my
Calamai God, Steve-O!
How did you actually crack my laugh, Callum? Come on.
No, I was trying to talk and he instantly interrupted me after not being here
Sorry,
all
it's my...
stream.
His,
Finish your sentence!
his mic is properly fucked.
PG stream, come on guys.
Piss off.
Oh, this
I
is
can't.
great.
I can't deal with you at the moment. This is not fun. Alrighty then. So, beep. Okay. So, I would like to start off with Ferrari young drivers. Second place in the F2, Callum Ilott. I'm starting with him because he's got the same first name as me.
That's
Alright, so
Unbiased completely.
that makes him shit, so we can move on.
How dare you, Clock? I have a oh well, I can't say I have a championship. It was Division 3 in Season 2. I can't
Still
exactly
a championship.
claim
Still a
that as a good
championship.
thing.
Come on, Cam. Don't hold your head up like that is a
Never mind.
championship to your name.
That's-
Did you or not? Or did you? Or did
We're
you not finish
moving
first?
on. What, sorry?
Did you? Or did
He
you?
just
did not
wants you to
finish
say
first?
it. Don't. Oh.
I just want you to stop saying it. Shush. Devo's definitely gone. I think
Yeah,
he's
he's
leaving now.
gone. Right, okay. I think we need to
So,
continue. The show
let's
must go
start
on.
with Callum Ilott. I haven't actually watched much of F2. I've seen clips here and there. But from what I'm familiar with, he is second in the championship.
I'm pretty sure.
And a very good qualifier he is.
Yes, I've
Been very
seen
unlucky
the
in
qualifying
race so
results.
far. Races quite a few, I think, especially the first races.
So yeah, Carmelo is one of the young drivers for Ferrari. So that means he has maybe a career in Haas or Alfa Romeo. Because you know what they're going to do. They're going to get Schumacher in. So, personally, I think he's a good driver. I think he'd do well in F1. Just depends if he'd actually get the drive in a good car. Because Alfa Romeo is alright sometimes. Not, but
This season's rating isn't great.
He's
and
probably
Haas
going to be
is
the
just
Haas.
nowhere. Yeah, and Haas
If
is just a
anything,
waste
yeah.
of space.
But knowing
I mean, Schum is going to be in the Alpha.
they'll just stick with the same lineup and just forget about him, which will just make everyone look cry.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason I say he might get stuck in a Ferrari beta team is because look at Antonio Giovinazzi. I didn't really see much success from him in his F2 career, so I'm not particularly sure.
He fought
about
with Gasly for the 2016 F2 title.
Oh, did he?
He finished second to
well, I
Gasly.
didn't. Right.
Then
Remember we got a podium.
none of them got a seat for 2017.
Yeah.
Gasly
Yeah.
did some races at the end, didn't he? Like from USA or whatever it was.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was notorious.
And-
for
and-
And then he did,
Giovinazzi-
Giovinazzi
Yeah.
did the couple of reserve races, didn't he, for Verlaine
Yeah.
and his injury.
Yeah. Yeah.
He ended up as a
Um,
reserve, and Gasly. I think Gasly did like Formula, whatever it's called in Japan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Formula Nippon.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what will happen to Calamilo is maybe what will happen to is what happened to Giovinazzi. Get a bit sidelined, not really considered for a seat, and then fade into the back of the grid. I think he's a good driver. I think he's got plenty of talent to, you know, if he was put in a good seat, to really challenge the top drivers. But at the end of the day, will he be given that seat? Will he be considered for top seats? Or will he do one season and drift into nothingness like a couple of the old Ferrari drivers? Any opinions on him from any of you?
Yeah, well, it depends on how he performs.
I
really,
want him
doesn't
to
it?
get the F1 seat the most out of the three, I think.
Well, I would say that the one who wins the F2 championship would deserve the F1 seat the
I
most.
agree with that as well, to be honest.
Well,
But
I
I
agree with
also feel
that.
that he should be at the top of the F2 championship. I want him to win the F2
Yeah.
championship, basically.
Yeah, but it's one thing when who you want to win,
Yeah,
who
exactly.
does win.
It's close, but
In my opinion,
Schumacher's just been incredibly consistent, where I like
Yeah.
just not. I've been very fortunate this season, so he's a few points behind it. I can't remember how many exactly, but
well,
My
anyone
problem
who's,
is, go on.
anyone who's seen me drive knows I will value consistency very highly, so I rate Schumacher
Yeah.
very highly as well. I
see,
also,
if I remember rightly, he didn't get a win for a really long way into the season, but he was like consistently on the podium. So everyone was really confused how he was like. Because Schwartzman had the best start out of the lot, didn't he, at the start of F2?
Yeah.
He was ridiculous, and he was just getting like win after win. He was constantly a sprint race as well. I remember he'd get so many sprint race wins, and then he was miles at the top, but somehow Schumacher was second. Everyone was really confused, but he was like consistently on the podium, but never won it,
Yeah.
and everyone was a bit shocked by it, really. Because didn't he come something like 9th or 10th last year, if I'm not mistaken?
but it is how you
I
win
thought Schumacher
something,
came
though,
fourth
really
in the-
being consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch a lot of drivers through the years. Prost being the best example.
Yeah.
Lauda as well was one of those drivers
They are
racing
our
with his
predators.
brain rather than in an SLR sense.
definitely wrong. Yeah, I think some, of course, Prost didn't get the nickname Professor for no reason. It's, yeah, there's some drivers, of course, who race with their heads. Some people race with their instincts. I am one of those people who race with their instincts, not with their head.
I mean, you do.
Personally, I think Schumacher has more of a chance for the F1 seat, even if he comes second in the championship behind Ilott. I think he is more likely to get a seat because he has that
I feel
name.
like even though it really deserves to be whoever's going to win the championship gets a seat, I do still see somehow that Schumacher's that Alfa Romeo seat just seems to be Schumacher's anyway. I feel like that's what I see anyway. Which is also why I'd like to see Ilott in the house. I feel like that. But, yeah.
I saw a rumour mill a couple weeks ago, not a couple weeks ago, it was last week or something, that Schumacher is in talks with Alfa Romeo. But I don't think he'd be in talks. I think they just hand him the contract.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well,
I think realistically,
I guess you got to talk money.
because Alfa Romeo's,
well,
of course they discussed money and everything, but I think they'd basically just go, even if he came second or third in the championship, I think they'd offer him a seat. He's a consistent driver, like you said, but I think there is the Schumacher name behind it that kind of boosts his chances. Which I'm not saying is a bad thing. If you've got parents who are good at what they did, of course the kids might have the same talent, but that's not always guaranteed. And yeah, I'm not going to go into any debates, as that's not what this realistically is for. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, the new Schumi is going to get a seat basically handed to him on a silver platter.
either way, if you win the championship, you deserve a seat, regardless if you call it Schumacher or
I know that for. I think Ilott will get a seat, but I think what will happen with Schumi is Schumi will get the better of the two seats that are handed to Ilott and Schumacher. Because of course we can see by which teams they were supposed to be testing with. Ilott was supposed to test them with Haas, and Schumi was with Alfa Romeo, basically, who is their better team. So
yeah, I think Schumi would have had priority. Oh, well, if you can say that, but would have been with a better team regardless if I would want, to be honest, because of his name as well and the all the commercial advantages that comes with it.
It'll be good for sponsors,
But it's it's dreamland for Ferrari if Schumacher actually wins the championship, because no one, even though it probably is like it, but no one can say that he's only done it because of his name, or he's only got it because of his name, because if he wins,
of course,
they can justify it so easily. The problem for Ferrari is that if he doesn't win and he still gets the better seat, it's a bit of a problem for him to justify it, so
it's gonna look kind of sus, isn't it?
if I was Ferrari, I would really, really hope that Schumacher just got
Red
that.
kind of system.
Knew someone was gonna make that joke. Yeah, I'm not saying he's a. Of course, I'm really not saying he's a bad driver. Schumacher's shown his consistency and actual pace over the course of a race, but that's an F2. There's some people that can do very well in F2 and just absolutely fail in F1. But of course, won't know that until that actually happens. Just have to wait and see. So, we talked about Ilott and Schumacher. I want to talk about a personal favourite. A failure of the Red Bull program. Dan Ticktum. Anybody know the name?
Yes.
Anybody know the history of the name?
I've followed him for quite a while because I have got a mutual friend with Dan Ticktum. So I've been following him for a couple of years, not massively, but this year particularly because he's a lot easier to access him just being on the TV this year. So I've pretty much watched it solely from. It seems like he's. I know I've like had like little conversations with my cousin over just mentioning the name. So like I think remember when he got dropped from Red Bull because he was always the one who was tipped to be the next Red Bull star, wasn't he? And then he was dropped. I didn't really know much of what the understanding was behind it. But,
I do know what actually happened. He actually got a race ban and a season ban for purposefully crashing into a car, into another driver.
Yeah.
There's also been cases of disgruntled driving, and the odd problem here and there of him being a bit of a
Just a bit hot-headed,
arrogant.
basically.
Yeah, bit arrogant. He has shown glimpses of being a consistent driver. Not the best, per se. The reason I bring him up is there's a lot of people put a lot of stock in him for some reason. I personally can't think why. I've seen him race. I'm not a big fan of him, if I'm honest.
He's got very good pace. To be fair, he can if he can just keep his head screwed on. Like say, just if he was managed to like as I say, not be as like kind of hot-headed and get too like angry a lot of the time, not make too many mistakes because he does make quite a few mistakes. Then he could easily be in the, I reckon, battling for the top 3, if not the championship of the F2 this season. It's just his rookie year still as well. Isn't he like P9, 10 I think at the minute? So he's doing pretty well considering it's his debut season in F2. It was a bit of a shock as well, I thought, when he was. I think not many people were expecting him to get the F2 drive, considering it was still quite fresh since he got dropped. But then he signed with Williams, and then he got the seat, didn't he? I think if I'm not mistaken, which was kind of saved his career a little bit. So Williams backed him.
Yeah.
Do you remember there was the incident in Silverstone, wasn't it? And I remember him saying over the radio in F2 about he's like, if he keeps on like weaving like that, I'll purposely crash into him. And then
that was the incident.
Yeah.
That's when he crashed into someone. It was at Silverstone.
That wasn't one that he got banned from, though, was it? He just got in. I remember that was quite big because, of course, he had already made a name for himself about like being all this like hot-headedness and that. I mean, from what I've seen of him, like in person, he's not too bad. So, I guess might just be a persona sort of thing. Everyone's a completely different person when they kind of get behind the wheel, though, really, aren't they? So, and I guess it just shows a bit more of the desire to win. He just wants it so bad, he's getting a bit desperate, I guess.
At least he isn't throwing front wings at people.
I can't remember that guy's name, but Jenson Button has been really aggroing the FIA for him to be removed permanently. I think he has now actually been removed permanently from racing.
If you're unaware, if you're watching this and you're there was an incident, it was a go-kart track, I can't remember where it was. It was a championship, and it was the son of the owner of the track, wasn't it? Got taken out of the race on machining and got angry at it. Literally, I think he had a bit of loose the front bumper of the go-kart and just launched it at another driver, and it came round for the next lap of the circuit, which was not great. And then, of course, he tried to.
He hit the wrong driver, by the way.
Did he? Because I think that would probably then mean why he went to him in the paddock afterwards, didn't he?
He full-on tackled him. What's funny is, so did the dad.
Yeah,
the dad went with the son
that was
and
bad.
tackled him.
I remember watching. So I think somebody made like a really good in-depth YouTube video of it. I think I remember watching it, And you can just see that the dad just comes launching in. It's the owner of the circuit, which just makes it look really
Yeah.
bad. He just launches his way in. He's like, oh, that's just not good.
It's just not on, is it? Yeah.
Only people could be
It's
more
ju-
like us.
It's what I found funny was he is a multiple like world champion when it comes to karting.
I've
You're
heard
thinking-
he is supposed to be very quick. But I guess that
He's a very very good driver.
positives come with negatives
However-
every now and then, don't they? So
Yeah.
that's the unfortunate matter, really.
Also, regarding his loose front bumper, it wasn't that loose.
You just sort it
Reports
off.
show that it was literally stuck on tight when he crashed, but because of the crash, it was kind of, there was a little bit that he could,
Just get a good grip on it and
like,
rip it off.
yeah,
and
get
chuck
a grub
it.
and rip it off. And then he hit the wrong driver. What a nutter. So, I would like to bring attention to AlphaTauri's Golden Boy. Well, technically Honda's Golden Boy, but he's going to do his test with
Looks very
AlphaTauri.
likely, doesn't it, that he's going to go to AlphaTauri next year.
Yeah.
Increasing,
Yuki
especially after
Tsunoda.
today, had the seat for him.
Yeah. Yuki Tsunoda has got his first test of F1 at Imola this year.
Isn't
He will, of course, be
it's
testing-
a bit strange, though, isn't it? Because it's not a practice session, is it? Because I don't believe he's got the super licensing for it. Yeah, I don't think it's a practice
No, it's
session.
not.
So that he's
It's
doing
not,
a test instead.
No, it's not.
He's not.
Yeah, he's doing a test.
It's not sure if he's allowed to go in F1 next year. He's
It's just not. It's
he
like,
needs to
just
finish
about
like top
this season
5 or
in that
something.
practice session.
Yeah.
He's not doing like a free practice in the car. He's just doing like a little side test, isn't he? Like when
Yeah.
they do the pre-season testing
think
and
that's
stuff
what's
like
happening,
and they do it in Hungary and Abu Dhabi, didn't they? On the regular season.
Yeah. He's doing it at Imola.
And that one, like,
So, yeah.
Hmm.
I haven't followed much of Yuki Tsunoda, if I'm brutally honest. But from what I have seen of him, he's a pretty consistent, alright driver. Few mistakes here and there. Yeah, I just haven't really heard much of him until, of course, the test was announced. So it's kind of hard
Yeah,
to put
he's,
much stock into him.
he's a multiple race winner this season in F2.
Is
and
it?
another
Oh,
rookie.
I'm stupid.
He's the I think he's the highest. Oh no, he's not the highest rookie. Schwarzman is second
He's
highest.
been very unlucky as well.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of unlucky things happening to him. I can't no point going through everything that's happened to him, but he's been unlucky. I'm sure you
what
can
it
all
was,
understand
but
that.
there's something about him that wasn't that a massive fan of him this season, and I don't know what it is. I just had this thing with some drivers and stuff. But no, I don't fancy it that much. But I can kind of see why. From like his press interviews, he seems quite mature and that, which is
I'll be back in 5 minutes, lads.
Yeah, that's fine, mate.
yeah, he seems to be quite like mature and that, so that's good.
Yeah.
And I can see him being fit for the drive. But they reckon that he'll be taking to the outside, don't they? But we'll see.
If he
Yeah, but-
receives the license points required, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about the stupid not license points, the super license points.
They had the same problem with Albon, didn't they? Well, to start off with.
Yeah.
And then he finally got the amount of super license points from the pre-season testing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I remember when he
You
did
have
the
to do
pre-season
a
testing, he had to have like a different colour lights on the back of his car, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he hadn't done the super
You have to
license
do
before,
so
that was
many-
quite funny.
You have to do so many 100 miles testing in an F1 car before you're allowed to get a certain amount of license,
No,
super license
that's
points.
probably why he's doing it, isn't it? So he can just
Yeah.
rack up that number a little bit. Fingers crossed.
You can do, but you can only do so much. So he'll do that test, but then he has to back up with super license points from the last 3 years. So depending on how many he's got so far, can depend on how much testing he does. So, yeah. Just before we move on to the next person, I'd like to point out a little fun fact. So, of course, we know we have Mick Schumacher, a famous name in F1. We also have a couple other surnames that
Giuliano
you may
Alesi.
recognise from
Yeah.
Giuliano Alesi.
It's quite a few.
Give me a second, I need to find his name. Pedro Piquet.
Let's see what I'm thinking.
Fittipaldi, is he in F3 or?
EA's in F3, yeah.
Yeah, Fittipaldi's in F3.
Same with Ralph Schumacher's son is in F3 at the minute.
Yeah.
David, also Mick's cousin. Yeah, he's in F3.
Yeah. There's So we
There's
have
quite
three.
a few.
Yeah. 3 names from the history of F1 children, basically.
Yeah.
I think Fittipaldi is a grandchild though.
Yeah, Fittipaldi's a grandchild, yes.
There's 2 as well. If I remember rightly, there's Enzo and Pietro. I think Pietro's the one that's the test driver for Haas, isn't he? And then Enzo's the one in F3.
I would like to point out for that as well, we also have a Prost, but he is not in an F1 grid, he's in the Formula E grid. Of course, his dad is literally one of the Renault owners, so Prost has been racing for Renault in Formula E. But yeah.
It was him who had that massive crash with Heidfeld in the first race.
Yes, he was the one who had that massive crash with Heidfeld. Yeah. To be honest, unfortunately, I haven't kept up with much of F2, but I do know one person who has tested this year for Williams, and that would be Roy Nissany.
I was thinking Jack Aitken, because they both have. Yeah.
I didn't realise Jack Aitken had tested.
They're both tested for Williams this season.
Yeah, right.
Roy Nissany has not been amazing this season. That's why I really think there is still an element of like car difference, and it isn't, because isn't it supposed to be the engines that are equal in F2, aren't they?
Yeah,
but
engines equal,
it's
but they
really
could do
strange that some
slight twisted
cars
downforce and stuff.
do like worse at other circuits, and I never understand how that works in F2 if like they're all the same. But it's weird because the Tridents always seem to be really low down in F2. Because the Roy Nissany is one of those. I don't know why that is, but yeah.
Well, they can develop some stuff themselves. It's not completely equal.
I think what's allowed is the front wing, a rear wing, and something to do with the floor. Apart from that, there's no other bits they're allowed to change. And the front wings have to be the front, back wings, and the floor are very heavily specified. So there isn't too many tweaks they can make.
I do remember the
they're pretty much
mention
equal.
to Belgium that it was a track that Carlin were worse at, and I was like, how does that work?
Yeah.
I was really confused. Why, but surely they're like exactly the same. I was really confused. But, I knew there was some sort of things that can be different. But, yeah, it just seems the Trident, which is called Scarlet Nissany's in, doesn't seem very good. I don't even remember who his teammate is, but I'm pretty sure Nissany is the better of the two, if I'm mistaken, this season.
I would have said Nissany is the better of the two as well.
Who's his teammate? I can't remember who his teammate.
Sato.
Yeah,
Reno Sato.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, Prima is heavily involved with the Young Ferrari driver program.
Yeah.
Of course, they've had Charles Leclerc, who's in Prima, and of course, Mick Schumacher, who's in Prima. I can't remember who else is in Prima, to be honest.
Schwartzman's on the other one this year.
Yeah, it is Schwartzman.
Yeah,
It was
Julia
again
Corsi
another
and
young
Ferrari.
driver for Ferrari. Yeah. So of course Prima usually does quite well. I'm trying to think what other team it was that usually does quite well. It's Carlin, isn't
Yeah,
it? Carlin
Carlin
does
do
usually
quite
do
well.
quite well. Yeah.
Last season, Dams won it, but won the constructors. But they had who's the second driver? They had what's an Albon and Latifi? Was it? I think it might have been last year. I think it was Albon and Latifi. No, it wasn't. Latifi and somebody else.
No, it wasn't Albon.
Albon was in F1 last year. I'm being stupid. Latifi and Sete Kamara, but
Yeah.
and I believe Sete Kamara was in it this year, wasn't he? He hasn't. No, who was it? I can't remember who the number one guy was this season. But whoever was, it's Strong Belial.
Yeah.
He got
Belial
injured,
and
didn't he?
Ticton.
He got injured in Spain, and then they had to replace him with Yuri Vips, who has done quite well, I think. So they've had Yuri Vips and Van Ticton in the Dams car, and they haven't been quite as successful as last year. But Goliath seems to really struggle this year. Well, he was Schumacher's teammate last year in Primoz.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the grids. Yeah, because ART did quite well as well. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
You and
who
I,
has
they're
Marcus
always quite
Armstrong
up there as well, and they have been this year as well.
Yeah.
ART with Lundgaard and Armstrong, they've been kind of the team I want to do the best this year, but they've just never quite been there, and it's been quite unfortunate. Because I think Lundgaard's probably one of my favourite drivers this year.
I mean, he's Danish though, so that's a big minus.
I think the main reason is because he's got the same birthday as me. It might be somebody else. I can't remember. I think he's got the same birthday as me, which is quite.
See, when did High Tech join? Because I don't remember
They
when
joined
we
this
did it.
year.
When I was racing. Yeah, I was about to say when I was racing F2 last year, I don't remember High Tech being part of it. So they've got Giotto and Mazepin.
Yes, it is. Which is quite
Mazepin.
important actually to know that, because there has been rumours about the next patch in the new F1, in the current F1 game, will be introducing them, which would technically mean we'll have 22-man grids, because that's the way they run in F2 at the minute.
Yeah.
Which, if they did, that would be pretty cool. But I can't promise anything. That's just me hoping more than anything. But yeah. There you go, there's something. Yeah. Another. They run basically the same old format of numbers as they do and they used to in F1, didn't they?
Yeah, I
Because
believe
it's got that weird thing where they don't have the number 13 because some drivers think it's unlucky, and it is quite funny because that's what it used to be in F1 as well.
the driver's numbers are based off what I'm seeing here. So for some reason, there's actually two number 16s.
Two number 16s. That might be
Markelov and Drugovic, both 16,
Yeah.
apparently.
Was that last year? No, it's not. That is because I can see that actually. Wait, Markov? Hang on a second.
Yeah, Artem Markelov in HWAG.
Yeah,
Who's
and who's the
his
other one?
teammate.
Drugovic.
Drugovic in the MP Motorsport alongside the Matsuhita.
One of them's wrong because they, yeah, that's not right.
I'm looking at both their cars. They both have the number 16 on the front and the wing, in the front nozzle.
Drugovic is supposed to be number 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Drugovic should be number 15.
Should he?
Yeah, because PK. Okay, I'm going by a list, and every number they are in the list is the number on the car. So Samie is 10th in this list and has the number 10 on his car.
Yeah, yes, yeah, that's right. Samaya is, yeah.
The Ruvela is 8th, and of course he has the number 8. I think that one. I think one of them is supposed to be actually 15, but for
Because
some reason on the car
I
they
know
put 16.
Matsushita left. So, yeah, no, Drugovic is 15 because Matsushita was 14.
Yeah.
And then he left, and then a lazy took that seat.
Oh, so a lazy moved up to 6.
A lazy moved to number 14, and then
well, I might be
Jake
looking
Hughes
at
to
an outdated one.
F3. joined HWA, but then
Yeah.
from next race onwards is actually a name that I wanted to bring up, being runner-up in F3, Ted Porsche, because he's
Yeah.
very important in the future as well. So, yeah. He's one. I've dropped my phone. But he's one that I kind of want to mention in the future.
job.
But he was announced today, maybe yesterday. Well, he was moving up to F2 for the remainder of the season. Well, for the last 2 rounds. But yeah, there you go.
Excuse me. Clock, do you have anyone you really want to give any honourable mentions to before we start moving on to the next topic?
Lundgaard.
No, I think it's fine.
That's all. I just like Lundgaard. He didn't do too badly. He didn't come like P3 last year in F3, and then got moved up. And he was along his teammate, is Armstrong, who also got moved up. And he's been the better of the two. He's just, I think he's the youngest driver in F2 as well, and he's done quite well. So yeah, that's Christian Lundgaard. Yeah, he's Renault Academy as well, so he was one of the same with Guan Yu Zhou. And I remember that when Alonso got announced, there's a lot of people kind of annoyed that neither of them got the seat technically, but even though it was obvious they weren't going to get it because they both aren't quite ready yet. Guan Yu Zhou is another name actually. He's quite quick. As much as he's another one of those guys that I'm just not so keen on, so I just kind of want my luck to look at that every week. But yeah, doesn't necessarily be the case. I'm a big fan of F2, as you can tell.
As I can tell, yeah.
I've been talking so much about F2, I haven't even got finished the leaderboards yet, so I'm going to shut up and do that, and then you can talk.
You can wing it as we're actually moving on to that now. So if you want to wing it,
okay,
it's fine.
Yes, true.
Okay. Do you want me to move on to driver of the week first, and then you can?
Yeah.
I'll announce this race's winners first once everyone's crossed the line. I think that's pretty cut and dry. So in the Wednesday race we have the all winner Zydrad, followed by Beast, Roller, Tuman, Dorsey. I nearly read his name properly. Silly Bunny, Sem, Connor, Panther, Liam, and then outside the points we have Ned and Wiggy. With the list of not finishers are Jester, Jib, Hicklin, Rando, Lemon, Smoke, Bennett, and I didn't actually get to see the last name before the session timed out. Great. I'll announce that quickly. So, of course, we have driver of the week. If you just give me a second to get that up. Yeah, from what I remember. Yep. So, our driver of the week for F2 is SLR Darnell. I'm going to read out his, of course, little description. So, in the feature race, Darnell won, not won, but got driver of the week. Solid race after qualifying 16th. He then turned that around, battling in the mid-pack between 8 other drivers for P8. That P8 turned into a pole position for the sprint and secured him his first race win. So congratulations to him for the F2 driver of the week. And in F1 we have Ghost Cult from Elite. His fantastic soft run in the first half of the race was where it was won. Managed his tyres fantastically well, hoping the rain would soon arrive as anticipated, and it did. Luck favoured the Brave then to fend off Zydrad once intermediate conditions topped off a well-deserved first victory. Congratulations to Cult, and Hypers was the one who came last, also not finishing. So congratulations to them, Cult and Darnell, for your drivers of the week. So, Owen,
Yeah.
are you ready now?
My turn. Yeah, why not? I'll have a go.
That's great. Very cheerful.
Okay, so yeah, as per last week, I'll be doing the same sort of thing. Just giving you a little rundown on how the standings have changed from last week. So if you can remember back to last week, it was getting a nice. It was getting, if I remember rightly, Ham just extended his somewhere I've got the because we'll start right at the top because that's where I started my notes. They got closer because Jam won in Austria in Elite, and it's actually Jam is no longer in second place. Zydrad, who of course as you just read out, won the Wednesday race. He's actually now up into P2 after he came second, as you also said in the Driver of the Week. That he came second with a good strategy. So yeah, he's now 2 points ahead of Zydrad, and Ham didn't score a single point. So that gap is now, what's that, 17 points off now. It's just at the top, so it's a bit closer to what it has been before. Of course, another mention goes to Ghost Colt, who's kind of winning the best of the rest at the minute. I was on comms with Southerner for Elite last week, and I mean, Ghost Colt had an amazing race, as you pointed out as well, as why he got Driver of the Week, and he just did an amazing on the softs, just took them the distance, and nobody thought they could. He said that they were literally like driving on ice for the rest of right at the end of the stint, especially when it was getting wet as well. So it was really good to see. And then, when he did that, he got P1, and that now means he's up to P5 in the championship. He's kind of leading this little pack that doesn't include the Ham Jams and the two Haas drivers. He's jumped ahead of Midzi and Merckx. I'm pretty sure he was joint on points with Merckx beforehand. And of course, Merckx got P3, which is also a very good result as well. So he's done very well this week as well. Because Renault didn't score in a Elite Constructors, I'm still getting confused. There is now over 100 points. The gap at the top. Haas are bossing it, as expected, with Freeman and Zydrad. I mean, you can't get more open. Really, it's pretty impressive. I don't know if I wrote anything else. I didn't, because I kind of wanted to be a bit short, because I felt like I dragged on a little bit last week. Division 1, it was just 2 points. It was separating Callum McEwen, SLR McEwen, I should say, and Southerner, because of course we were praising his win in Austria. Matt came 10th and only got 1 point, and Callum went and won the race after a pretty solid drive, it must be said. So that gap is now 26 points, and Callum's back again, kind of running away with it, which is unfortunate to see. And of course, a big one being Clock has now overtaken Ranger again, so that a little game of chess going for P3 there. It's now, because Ranger didn't score, and Clock, where did you come? Did you come fourth, I want to say?
Yeah, finished third, but Riggs got me on pens.
That's right. So Riggs has also gone up to 9th. He was in 13th, I think, and he's gone up to 9th now. So well done to Riggs. Silly Bunny made up a few positions as well. He's now in 10th after he had a good result as well. Because he was, if it wasn't for the kind of odd tyre strategy that we had with the guys pitting for the safety car and whatnot, he probably had the ultimate strategy, the Silly Bunny, and he looked really quick. So it was unfortunate, but he still got P5. So well done to him. What did I write anything about the constructors? I don't think so, because it's kind of pretty much exactly the same as it was last week. I think there's a couple changes in the midfield. Renault are basically level 1 Haas for P9 now, so that's cool. Haas haven't scored since I left them. That definitely wasn't me, because I didn't score for them either. It was all Kevin. Still, since they still haven't scored since Spain, so they've been on a bit of a downfall, and Renault are now winning with them as well, so they've got up after, so they've only got those points. Not really much else has happened in the Div 1 Constructors. The Div 2 Championship, if you remember, we had about 6 different drivers, and they were all split between 1 point for P4 in the Championship last week. Panther, of course, won the race in pretty spectacular fashion, and he's now P4 by about 9 points, and he's now catching up to Zach in P3, so he had a really good race. You got Sem, Neelix, they both went up, I believe. Maybe I know Sem was in P4, so he's actually gone down, but he's still got a podium, so he's still doing pretty well. And it's also, that's actually kind of mad that Sem got a podium, has gone down, and has still gone down in the championship. Just because of that. And of course, another big one is that Callum's gone down another position. His Halo came P2, and he is now a point ahead of Callum. So there is a buffer between us now, and I've stayed in my position and you've gone down one, so that's always good to see. Probably not for until next week, until you somehow get like, loads of points and I go below you. So
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
be
hold your
surprised.
breath, mate.
Anyway, yeah, Bennett's extended his lead after he only got E8, I think because of the whole strategy thing. He's still just extended that lead because Ryan didn't score any points. However, because Halo got second on his first ever driver and full-time driver, he got second, so that's pretty impressive for Halo. They are now only 7 points. Sorry, I say Renault are now only 7 points off of Mass at the top of the Div 2 constructors, and then Mercedes and McLaren are joint in third. And then we move on to Div 3, which is where I've stopped my notes. I know Hype has moved up to P3 in the championship, because he did quite well in the race. I can't remember where exactly, but he's basically jumped over Craftish Chester and Gareth from P5 to P6. After a decent showing, so he's made up the most positions out of anybody, I believe, other than Deadpool, who came third, if I'm not mistaken, and he's like jumped up massively to P13. And then the big one is that Steve-O finally scored points, came P8, and he's now P18 in the championship rather than last.
Hell yeah, go Steve-O. Who's not here?
Yeah, so that's good to see from Steve-O, and it's all very tight in the constructors, other than the top two really, Grayson Point and Red Bull. Everyone else is quite close to them. If the main thing when you go to F2, before I quickly do the joint constructors, if I remember rightly, the main thing is that Ham and Jam have got full-time seats again, so Zydrad's lead at the top has basically just been halved. He had like over a 150 point lead over Merckx, and that's just been pretty much halved by Ham coming back, and he's close to him in the Campos. Jam's come back, he's in P7, and I think he was the only other one. So
No one's
new
surprised.
place. Yeah, so they've kind of just taken just higher positions, which has promoted quite a few of the guys quite far down. So like Nicky was P5, he's now P9 in the championship because I don't think he raced last week. Or if he did, he didn't score, or he scored 2, I think, maybe something like that. And then I think it's Carlin are running away with it just because of Zydrad. He's literally scored all of their points, and they're still winning the constructors, or I should say the team's championship as it is in F2. And UNI, which is Beast and Matt, they're doing really well. They're in P2. So we're going to go to the joint constructors. This is kind of the reason why I wanted to go. I might just move it just so we don't go for long, but just do the joint constructors because that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Massive shock. If you haven't watched it this week, watched the race this week, Ferrari won 3 races. So they got 75 points, which means that they're our highest movers this week, and they've actually gone ahead of Williams into the top half. So Williams have really had a struggle recently. They've gone from like 3rd to 6th in a matter of races.
Yeah.
It's not great.
It's been a tough
They're
couple
down
weeks,
to
right?
they're down to
Yeah.
6th now. Ferrari have got jumped above them. Then the next highest was Red Bull, and then McLaren were the 3rd most out of everyone else. They scored 44 points this week. Considering their bottom, they're now within 17 points off of both Mercedes and Alfa Romeo, so it's a bit closer there, which is good to see for McLaren views. Well done to those guys. I'm proud of them, considering they're last, so good resilience being shown. And that's basically everything. The only change in the standings was that Williams have gone below Ferrari. The gap's actually widened to Haas this week because they scored 40, and Racing Point had a bit of a shocker. They only scored 28. So yeah, there you go. That's it this week, ladies and gents. You're welcome.
Wait,
Thank you
where
very
are
much,
we
Owen.
this week?
Hungry.
Yeah, Hungary this weekend.
Ooh.
So, Clock, it's your time to shine, my friend.
The general's time to take over.
Yeah,
Oh god.
I regret reading this title now.
Right. So first of all, we start off what should be simple, I hope, and I want to know who's got the most DNFs in Hungary in SLR, and it's
Me.
4 people. 4 people who's DNF'd twice, and you are not one.
Really? Considering you took me out last
Yes,
season.
really.
DNF twice in Hungary.
I mean, you're also the one who said that you haven't won in Austria, even though you won in Austria, so I don't trust you anymore.
Right, so
What about DNF
I-
overall? I think it was Hungary.
Not F2, just...
so I'm trying to think who DNF last year. So it can't have been like, because it wouldn't have included DNF if the race was called off, because of course season 2, no, so Div 2 got called off last year, didn't it? Last season.
They need to have DNF twice as well.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, so that wouldn't count, would it? So I mean, I'm pretty sure I DNF'd. Not that
I'm
it
guessing
matters,
they're all
but
still current drivers.
3 of them are, not the 4th one.
Steve-O's got to be one of them, yeah. I'd expect.
Yeah, Steve was one of them, yeah.
I'm gonna throw out maybe Scott. I don't know. Just feel like
Nope.
it might be a Scott spin track sort of thing.
No, actually, it's only 2 of them who's actually driving now. It's only 2 of
Silly
them.
Bunny. Silly Bunny.
No.
Nah, he hasn't been here long enough.
Oh, neither have I, to so I can't say
It's going to be
myself.
someone it's Ranky, one of them, just because he's been
Nope.
here a little bit longer. Might have had a few races here. Because you said you thought it was 3. Could it have been someone like Mac Veach, because he left quite recently?
No.
Hicklin?
Eklund, yeah, it's one of them. So you need the 2 former drivers now.
That's going to be tough. Marrow, because it's his home race.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
I'll get it in. His home
I'll
race.
say
But
Marrow.
DNF,
it was a bit of a meme when he raced that he always DNF'd on his home circuit.
Yeah. Can we get any clue about the last one? Oh, we're not getting any clues for this one.
He was in Div 1.
What?
I haven't been in the league long enough. I have no
Oh,
clue.
when he raced, he was in Div 1. So he isn't here anymore, so he was in Div 1.
Has he been, like, when did he leave?
I think you want a lot of questions now. This
Yeah,
is not a quiz about clues.
Somebody that's been here a while. I don't know. I'm trying to think somebody that. Yeah. I don't know how long was Martin Hazard? I don't have any of his name.
Oh, it's not him.
Pricey?
No.
Wouldn't be podium, I don't think. So, probably not Presto either. Just thinking of the classic names.
No.
Is this still a
I
current
don't
driver? Because Marrow wasn't.
No,
Marrow
he's
isn't.
not the current driver. He isn't.
No,
That's
so
the
it's
one.
an
It was
ex-driver.
yeah, it's an ex-driver. He was the
I
one
haven't been in
who...
the league long enough. I don't know.
This is the driver who robbed me of a podium of my only chance of a podium in Divan in season 1. When I finished 3rd on track in Austria. I had penalties that this
Oh,
guy
what?
was right behind me, took the podium away from me.
The Bottas?
No,
Can't be
Gibby?
Jocko.
no.
This is. Well, I can't think of who it might be.
It's me, Will.
Ah.
Who? Oh, it's me,
It's me,
Will.
Will.
It's me,
Oh,
Will.
I see. Oh, yeah. Ah, right. Fair enough.
Right, so moving on the Hungary theme this week. I want
starving.
to know.
Sorry,
Brilliant.
I had to make the joke.
Go for it.
Whatever. So I want to know what year was the first race held at the Hungaroring and who won it?
Oh God.
A random
Fuck.
one being 96. I don't know.
No,
99 and high. No?
It was in the 80s. I'll tell you that much.
Oh.
You get one, and you'll guess one guess. You get one guess each. Give me a year and a winner. we'll see who's
1984.
and a winner.
I don't know.
Okay, 84.
Did I get the year right?
No, it's not correct.
Was it 86 and Prost?
86 is correct, but Prost isn't correct.
God.
God.
Was... No.
Kind of in Mansell, because Mansell wasn't going for a high team by then. God, I can't think of who the first winner of the
Was
was.
that he?
He was driving for Lotus, but he wasn't. Was that a clue that it's Mansell?
No, well, it's not Mansell, but
I'm sure Mansell
know.
wasn't like
Um,
fighting for wins that year.
I know Schumacher won there a few times, but that's way too early for
I-
him. Senna?
it-
That's the
No.
only logical choice here.
Mansell
No,
was fighting for wins this year. He
Was this when? Oh, this must have been his Williams year. This must have been his other championship year that he almost won. But I can't think of
It's a
who
pretty
else.
famous year, I think. I think this is a pretty famous year. He had a very bad. It was probably the first teammate relationship who was really shite.
PK?
PK is correct. If anyone remembers back to that PK overtake, sliding.
Yeah, I remember that.
On the
Oh
inside.
yeah. Oh, why didn't I think of that? That's pretty good.
Anyway, still Hungary. And I picked out a famous race from Hungary, which was a dry wet race, and it was in 2006. Can you
Yes,
tell me
but-
who won that Grand Prix? Thank you.
I'm literally driving the
Jesus
Braun because of that
Christ.
race.
Two questions left then, and I want to know who won in Hungary during season 1 of SLR
In all three divisions.
in all 3 divisions.
Ludwig Valhelsen.
That is shite pronunciation of my surname,
I know.
and it's not me.
Also,
Also, Owen, just
What?
speaking about my surname, you spelled it wrong in the Pro Clubs team, just so you know.
Oh, I didn't, did I? Oh, God.
It's only 1 L, you spelled it with 2 L's, so just to
God.
just
Oh,
to
well.
note that.
I was close though. I didn't have like anything in front of me, so I feel like I did all right. If
You
I
did
only
all
one
right,
letter
I'll
wrong.
tell you that. I'm impressed that you nailed my number 22. I was
Yeah.
a bit surprised of my very long hair, but
I thought I'd have some fun with that. I kind of went through a theme of what I'd expect they would have looked like.
yeah, I kind of know.
Of course, I know you don't look like that, but I thought
Yeah.
Swedish. This guy's very stereotypical.
Yeah, because they said because I'm also not blonde, so it was like
Yeah, I
it's just
know.
made a stereotypical Swede accent. Anyway,
Yeah.
season 1 winners in Hungary.
JH?
No,
I don't know any of the drivers from season 1. I only joined last season, so.
I'm joining season
Presto?
3.
Nope.
I'm
Pricey?
nope,
Maro?
no,
going on that theme. Podium legends.
no, no,
Uh,
no.
Ranga?
No.
Ranga who won?
Yeah,
Black
it's
Beach.
Constant Ryan.
Black
He's
Beach?
the
No.
Constant
Oh, Constant Ryan. Constant
Oh,
Ryan,
Matt.
correct. Constant Ryan is the winner of Division 2.
I'll get it.
Oh, was he? Oh shit. She's my friend.
I don't know many others who were kind of in the league.
Hicklin?
Nope.
God, I can't think of who else. Bottas?
In Division 1, no, in Division 1 it was for Loru.
Who?
For Loru.
I've never heard that name
Loro.
before.
Okay.
He raced a bit in season 1 and season 2, I think.
Sorry, I don't
It was pretty
remember
quick.
that name.
But you do know the name of the Division 3 winner. If anyone thinks back to Division 3 season 1, it was only 2 people really who could win a race by this point.
It's JH and...
JH was one of them, but he wasn't the one who won this race.
I can't remember who else it was. Oh my lord. What
He raced in Division 1 then for a season or two. Before he left the league.
Names escaped me.
Relic Nook.
Oh, Relic
Sex
no!
Sports was.
Oh my
X.
god! Forgot he was in
That
Div
was
3.
like coming, but not quite. Right. Okay.
I always forgot he was in Div
And
3.
Question. Yeah.
I've also saved a hard question for you at the end. And
We like a hard question.
throughout the years, I think it's a hard question at least, but throughout the years of real life F1, only one Hungarian driver has raced
Hey.
and taken part in an F1 race. That was in the early 2000s, so it's not like in the 50s. Early 2000s, he made his debut in the Hungarian Prix, but what is his name?
What team did he race for?
He raced for Minardi.
I ain't got nothing. I can't remember the Minardi drivers. Into
Mm-hmm.
that.
Clue.
I'd say I'd be very impressed if you got this one, but
It's a good thing I don't have a clue then I can have a little
He
bit
made-
at least then.
he made his debut in the 2003 Hungarian Grand Prix, and then he raced for Minardi in 2003 and 2004.
Did he race for any other team in his career?
Nope.
I haven't got a clue then. I'm
I haven't
afraid.
got a clue. I haven't really paid attention to Minardi from that era.
Let's see if I tried to find another clue on him, but actually he has driven for another team. He drove for Jordan as well.
I wish I knew my history.
Yeah, I'm also stumped to hell.
Oh yeah, he made his debut in 03 with Jordan because Ralph Furman was injured. And then he
Owen,
raced
BF.
for Minardi.
Morpheus behave.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to.
I'm trying not to laugh, so you two can't laugh.
No, I'm not. It's fine. Don't worry.
So the pop just tickled me when it came out.
Yeah, no, it's tickled me.
Sure. Just tell us who it is, Clock. We're never gonna get it.
Continue.
Salt Baumgartner.
Oh, I have heard that name before.
Oh dear.
Damn.
What teams did you drive for again?
I'm not gonna say it.
He figured it out.
Minardi.
Only one?
Jordan.
Oh, we actually got it right. Proud of you.
Well, you had to try really hard then.
Yeah, you could hear the strain when he said the G.
Jordan. Right.
I mean, it's just my Swedish way of speaking. Don't bully me just because I'm still gonna claim I can speak more language, double the languages you can speak. So fuck off.
I can speak French.
I can also speak a little bit of French.
A little bit. It's not. Then I can say I can speak a little bit of German.
Can you?
I can speak American.
I mean,
I can
Norwegian is
also speak American.
Norwegian is basically Swedish, so they're just a bit. They're just a bit more stupid over there, but that's
I
another
don't think
discussion.
we need to know about what languages everyone can speak.
Yeah, you're just bullying me because
Yeah. Right, is there anything else left
next
on the
week.
agenda?
No,
Oh, there
next
isn't.
week I'll do the poll in Swedish and we'll see how much you know it.
Enjoy it.
Sorry.
So, thank you all for watching the SLR SidePOD for the mystery topic this week. Yeah. Thank you again, Clock, for a wonderful quiz. Thank you, Scots, for joining after, of course, your long hiatus. Love to see it.
I'm back.
Yeah, he's back finally. Are you in F2 tonight? Tomorrow night?
Of course I am.
Ah, there we go, lads.
F2 tomorrow night.
You don't have a
Formula
teammate
1
currently, do you?
I do. I have Nicky, don't I?
He's stepped out from his seat. Have you not
No.
seen?
Oh,
No.
I've been thinking of going to F2.
I
No,
did have.
don't-
I had a little practice because I'm racing tomorrow.
Don't tell me Nicky's
That's
left me.
something that everyone needs to look forward for tomorrow. Is that the long-awaited return of one of the probably just saying I was probably one of the greatest drivers to ever grace the Formula 2 grid in SLR.
Are they still looking for a driver for it?
Yes,
Callum,
that
join me.
RC is currently available.
Join me. Hello.
I am
come on.
tempted to be fair, but I
Callum,
don't know.
Owen,
The
one of
Arden
you,
card
join
doesn't
me.
look that nice, so that's
I don't care. One of you, join me.
right.
I'll talk to
Um,
Ragnar
and
about
it is-
joining.
I need
Also,
me a teammate because I can't believe Nicky's left me.
No, we talked all
What
about
is-
the sportsmanship last week, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
about
It
how
wasn't last week. It was the week before. When he pushed me over the line at Austria because I ran out of fuel.
yeah. Because last week on the SidePOD, we basically just dedicated the topic towards that,
yeah.
and now he's
Did you?
left you. That's
I
disgusting.
know.
That's
I'm appalled.
bad.
I'm
Yeah.
appalled.
So,
Well,
Thank you
one of
for-
you's better to talk to Ranga and get onto my
that's
team.
what I'm doing now.
I've been
I'm-
in conversations with SLR Darnell about
Well,
a bit of a return to
One of you,
Formula
hurry
2.
up. Get into the
Um,
car and teammate
Okay,
me
just
tomorrow
a
night.
second while I try to outro this side pod.
No.
So, thank you all for joining. Thank you, Owen, for being my lovable co-host.
No.
Thank you, Scops, for joining, and thank you, Clock, for your
it's
wonderful
alright.
quiz. Thank you all for joining and watching this side pod. I hope you are all well, and a good night.